like father, like son, another historical parallel for you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video, and in this one I'm going to be simply talking about one of my favourite scenes of the finale, is what I like to call Robbie's realization. Yes, get it? Yeah, Robbie video, yeah. So, in this scene, the way things play out, and the reason I said father like son, is because this moment is beat for beat Kreese and Johnny, Johnny and Miguel, Robbie and Kenny. It's a full circle that still continues, even though Robbie barely has had much interaction in his life with Johnny. It's almost ingrained in his blood for this to happen. And it gets paid off by the end of the episode when he's like, I thought I could take this kid under my wing and be the mentor I wish I had when I was younger. And I think, as good as Robbie's intentions were this season for Kenny, I felt like there was a slight hint of arrogance there, that, you know what, then that all these people aren't there for me. Johnny screwed me over, Daniel screwed me over, it can't be that hard. I'll show them that I can do it. And I think the weight of what happens to Kenny really burdens on Robbie in this scene. And obviously when he's at the dojo with Johnny at the end, it's, paid off because of this scene. In this moment here, Kenny is letting out all his anger and rage and frustration from the bullying and the torment that he's been suffering ever since he came. And it's actually quite sad. I did mention this in my Kenny video, that Kenny came to town as a sweet kid. Wouldn't hurt a fly, a load of fun, and people turned him into a monster. And it goes back to that thing of, nature versus nurture. Monsters aren't born, they're made. And it's in this moment here where Robbie's like, damn, wait, Anthony LaRusso's your bully? And you gotta remember, in Season 2, Robbie stayed with the LaRussos, so he probably spent some time with Anthony. Maybe not a lot, you never know. We don't know the quantification of that. But he knew Anthony. He was in the same house as him. And I think if it was anyone else, Robbie would still feel the same. But I think it being Anthony LaRusso just drives it home more, that Robbie has not just tried to go against everyone that cared about him or reached out, but he's created a monster and a weapon that goes against them as well. That's something that he can't control. Kenny in this moment is so stuck with the Cobra Kai philosophy that it's literally that moment when Johnny and Miguel in Season 1, where Johnny's like, look, I know we want to win, it's got to be the right way. He's like, there's nothing dirty about winning. And then yada yada yada, and he says, don't worry, I got this. No mercy. And then Kenny says, it's Cobra Kai. No mercy. And as much as the Cobra Kai teachings that Johnny was imbuing work, again, that yin and yang, the Cobra Kai philosophy is so entrenched in such an evil nature, where, yes, it works for a little while, but I think this show is starting to really establish that, as great as Cobra Kai's philosophy is, that's why you need Eagle Fang, because it has the right balance of how far you go. Cobra Kai tells you to go all in, and in this moment here, I love just the way the score is building in the background. The composers absolutely knock it out of the park with this show. After Kenny says no mercy and he walks out of shot, Robbie offers Anthony a hand to help him up. And Anthony is clearly, he's shaken, he's scared. Because not only is Kenny now retaliating, Kenny's turned into a monster. Like, the look on Kenny's face, that's a Joker smile right there. And Anthony's like, just leave me alone, runs off. Robbie realizes, I've become the very thing I not swore to destroy. We don't need to get too on the nose with the Star Wars parallel. But he's become the very thing that he hated or that he was against. For the first 2 seasons, Robbie was against all of this. And now he's become what he hated. And he's even created it. And him creating it in someone else gives him the responsibility and the failure that Johnny and Daniel and everyone else has felt with him, but it also gives Robbie perspective on what Johnny and Daniel have tried to do for Robbie consistently, and now that feeds into Robbie taking accountability for his actions. I've always said that as much as Robbie needs to come home, as much as I want him to come home, it has to be a conscious choice. He has to choose to come home. He has to make that choice, and I think it serves the story so much more if he says, I'm coming home, rather than someone making him come home. And it pays off what Daniel says to him at the start of the season, when he's like, Terry Silver just popped up, didn't he? And he tells him the story of what Daniel was doing in Karate Kid 3. And Robbie's listening. And the minute Robbie walks out of the store, he looks back and it's like he's almost taken it in. And in this moment, it all comes full circle, where he sees everything that Daniel was talking about come full circle right in front of his eyes, as he can do nothing about it. It's like he's there to basically sit there and watch. And as I've established, Kenny and Anthony will take, center stage as the rivalry next season. But I think this is the 4 seasons worth of storytelling that are now being paid off, where Robbie finally realizes, yeah, true, it doesn't matter what way you fight as long as it works, but you need to make sure you don't lose yourself in the process. And I think out of the 2, Miyagi-Do is one that you won't lose yourself more to. Cobra Kai, you can very easily fall victim to your own indulgence, your own greed. I compare it to the ways of the Sith. It's the Sith rely on their passion for their strength. And what is the teaching that Daniel says to Robbie before this moment happens in the previous episode? Never put passion over principle. Because even if you win, you lose. And him knocking Kenny out in that epic moment in episode 9, but before all this, as haunting as it was and as crazy it was to see Robbie go youngling slayer on him, it just reaffirms to Kenny that the only way to succeed in life is to show no mercy and be relentless. And it further drives it home. That's why Robbie hesitates when he fights against Hawk, because he finally realizes what he's now done. It started out as him looking out for Kenny in his best interests, and Robbie still has that in his heart for Kenny. But it's in this moment where he realizes, oh, it's maybe not so easy to teach. It's maybe not so easy to have someone under my wing. And Kenny was just an apprentice. Imagine what he now feels, thinking, oh my god, if I failed Kenny like this, how must Johnny and Daniel feel for especially Johnny, for failing me as as his son? It gives him that perspective. Brilliant writing. Absolutely brilliant writing. I love the score in this scene, and I love the way everyone's performance is brilliant. From Kenny to Anthony to Robbie, the acting on display in this scene is powerful. It's palpable. You can literally feel the energy leaking off the screen. It's just one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. It's such a simple scene, and this is what I've said a million times before. Yes, the fights are cool. Yes, it's awesome. But the reason we care about the fights is because of who the characters are. Who are they? Why are they in it? Why are they fighting? And when you see Kenny unloading on Anthony, it's quite satisfying in a way, because it's, they tormented him at the start of the season and turned a sweet boy into a vicious monster. But then at the same time, it feeds into Robbie's arc about teaching him responsibility, but then it also sets up Anthony's arc about his Miyagi-Do, his path with Miyagi-Do to redeem all the bad that he's done. But then it will also open the door for him and his father to bond, and Daniel to actually bond with his proper son. There's so many doors that this particular moment has opened and paid off, and it's brilliant. Guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of this scene. Let me know what you thought of just the performances. And I think that the moment when Kenny's like, then you wouldn't know, because no one's ever been such a piece of shit to you. Oh, God. Oh! It's just, he's like, well, maybe it's time you found out. It's just such an interesting reversal from where he is at the start of the season to where he is now. And as much as we rooted for Kenny this season, I think next season you might start to root for Anthony just a little bit more. I think that's one of the things that this show does so well, is it'll take a character you never thought you would ever root for, and then they surprise us, I mean, look at Tori this season, anything's possible. And I think Anthony has a lot of potential going forward. Do I see Kenny and Anthony's rivalry lasting forever? No, but it will definitely take center stage for a little while, just because Tori and Sam, that rivalry's being buried. Miguel and Robbie, that rivalry's being buried. It's time to start things fresh. Guys and girls, I'll see you in another video soon, and whatever, la pusso.